This is Black Nerd Power. On the KUDZUKIAN.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, one and all to Black Nerd Power, BNP if you're nasty. I am your host, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and with me, the co-hosts of Black Nerd Power, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
What's up, my nerd?
All nerd to please, and Miss Kimber. What's happening, man?
Hey.
For those of you that are just tuning in, we will be talking a lot about The Last of Us Part 2. I'm trying not to talk about it too much because I know how much Kimber and her husband Troy are going to enjoy the story. But that being said, the reviews are out, and I've seen nothing but like 10 out of 10 reviews. I've yet to see a bad review for this game, and that is rare.
The other interesting thing is how closely people who, like, I know who have played it are holding the story to their chest. It makes me really feel like it's really incredible and something very, very beautiful because people are seriously refusing to spoil this story, which makes me excited because of how people tried to act on the front end, right?
Yeah, people tried to get all butthurt about it. And like, again, the stuff that we knew don't mean shit. Like, look, there are things in this game that I know that I knew were going to happen, and I've gotten to the point where some of them have happened. I still wasn't ready.
Still wasn't prepared. I
still wasn't ready.
So I haven't gotten to any of those moments yet. And I'm really happy about that because I'm really enjoying the place where I am in the game. Like, you guys, the beginning of this game is so much fun.
It's fun. It's great. And you play with, like you said, the character you play with, Abby. She's a great tutorial character.
You're three different people at the start of this game. Like, you start off as Joel, and then you go into, of course, being Ellie for a little bit while you move around and get to know where she is and how she interacts. And then you go into your tutorial phase where you learn to squeeze and crouch and vault and all that bullshit with Abby.
As Abby, completely different character.
Who's a bad guy, right? We don't know. She seems like a bad guy. She seems like a really terrible person.
Yeah, she's a bad guy. She also is
the women, but the other thing that I'm struggling with in this game is like how hot the female characters are. Like, Ellie got the sauce. It's very clear why. Like, her voice is very attractive. Like, she's got good vibes. It's so interesting to see her like be a young person and dealing with romance. It's
cool to kind of see her kind of come into her own and to see her kind of exist. Not without Joel, but to see her kind of come into her own as a person. Like, you see her little spot at the beginning of the game, and then throughout the rest of the game, you see how the spot is kind of grown and how she's kind of decorated it and put her own kind of personal spin on it. And you
she has a transformer. I think that thing was hard one, right? Like, where did you get a transformer?
That's the Easter egg. That's the one that she got from Sam. Remember?
Is that right?
In the first game, that's the toy. The toy that's just sitting there. That's the toy that she got from Sam.
See, I didn't remember that. That shit broke my heart so bad. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I blocked a lot of it out. But I was wondering, like, where is this fully formed fucking transformer from that she got?
Sam, she got it. Remember, they found it when they met up with Sam and his brother. He saw it in the toy store, and his brother was like, "Leave it," and Ellie grabbed it anyway and surprised him with it. This is only fresh for me because I literally played the game, had a day to rest, and then started part 2. And part two literally picks up right where part 1 ends.
The first time you see Ellie in part 2, the first time you see her, she still has a fresh bandage from the hospital. And it's just a really beautiful moment though between her and Joel. And Joel starts off like spilling his guts to Tommy like right after this happens. And then you go into the game, but so Ellie is not the only character I was talking about when I was talking about the female characters being hot. Okay, so Abby, she's fucking jacked. She is like crushing people's windpipes with her forearms. Like, I don't know. I I know she's gonna break my heart and make me sad and sick, but I also like love this character. I love her. I really do. And I'm gonna be like, I'm probably still gonna love her when she does all the fucked up stuff. Because everybody's fucked up in this game. Everybody's fucked up in it. She gonna do it so fucked up I'm not gonna love her at all. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I can believe it. Anyway,
but I'm about 8 hours into the game. I'm still in what used to be Seattle. I'm still looking for people for a very specific reason. I'm looking for a specific group for a specific reason. There's a group that's called the Wolves, the Washington Liberation Front, and as of right now, that's who we're supposedly looking for, but I don't think that's who in the end that they're going to be looking for. I have my theories, and I don't want to spoil anything. Again, until you get to a certain point, I'm not going to say anything.
So here's what's real. You're going to be fine. I will get there eventually, and it's probably going to be today. So you ready?
I absolutely expect at the very least a text message for sure.
Absolutely.
I absolutely expect it. But yeah, again, we're talking, for those of you just tuning in, we're talking about The Last of Us Part 2. Again, it has the review embargo was lifted on June 12th. The game came out yesterday, June 19th. But as of June 12th, as soon as the review embargo was lifted, 12 o'clock on the dot, the reviews started coming out, and every review that's come out has said this game is amazing. It is easily a contender for Game of the Year. The graphics have been improved greatly. Like the texture mapping and everything looks a lot smoother. The faces look a lot more realistic. Ellie's face is a lot more consistent, because if you go through the first game, there is her face changes a little bit, but her face stays pretty consistent. Like you said, everybody's beautiful.
Everybody looks so interesting and really does look like a whole ass person. It's very interesting to the point that you can like nationalities, which of course, like we talked about the fact that nobody had survived the apocalypse in the last game but fucking white people, but that's not goddamn true, especially in the Pacific Northwest. I've seen people who look indigenous. I've seen people who look Asian. There are black kids at the actual fucking settlement. And it's really cool. But one of the things that has blown one reason I haven't played a lot is something that always happens to me on the front end of games, which is I got hung up in all the fucking buttons and setup things. I am in love with how accessible this game is for me in particular as a person who has not had to necessarily experience life with a disability. Not only are there 5 different levels of difficulty on this game, y'all, we go from we got light and then we got very light, and y'all know where Kimber's shit is on very light. Thank you very much. Not only do we have very light, but there are actual accessibility features that are built not for people like me who honestly just got bad reaction times, but for people whose lives and bodies and circumstances make them have to access the game in a different way.
No, I was just saying, it is definitely created to not only be played, but it is also created. This one is created to be shared. This game is very much, you can tell that they wanted to make this game an experience, because under the accessibility, they've got text to vocal. Not just one. So definitely text to speech all throughout the whole game, but there are different levels. There are different categories of accessibility features that open up to whole maps. You got visual accessibility that leads to a whole map, hearing accessibility that leads to a whole map, and then mobility accessibility that leads to a whole map. I didn't even get that deep. Wow.
The mobility map is the one that I actually have turned on, because it changes the way that the camera moves. It gives you some assistance, it picks some shit up for you. it really has made the game so much easier to engage and enjoy. And so I'm really grateful for it because it really makes me able to enjoy it. But I also don't want to talk about my use of it as the purpose, because I'm also just really excited about how this has opened up to a wider community of gamers. People who live with disabilities make up a huge segment of gamers of the gaming community. And it's dope to see a big name like Naughty Dog be so thoughtful about so many things, including ability. You're listening to Black Nerd Power. We said it at the same time.
But yeah, I could go on and on and on. And again, I am just 8 hours in and they're saying the main campaign is going to be about 20 hours. If you 100% it could be somewhere, anywhere up once you get all the collectibles and power ups and go, because you got to play through more than once to get all the power ups. So they're talking 40 hours. So yeah, I'm on board. Again, Kimber, you gonna kill some dogs?
No, I'm not killing them dogs. Richard, you stop that. I'm not killing the dogs. No, I did it. I went out of my way. So y'all, the first dog you encounter in The Last of Us don't have no fucking problem with you, okay? Nope. That dog ain't got no issue with you. He gonna walk up and you gonna get to decide whether or not you interact with him. And if you do, it's gonna be sweet and precious and just fine. So just calm down. You do not have to murder the animals. Richard, no.
I'm asking because I haven't seen any yet, but yeah, when you go up against the wolves, that's a choice you're gonna have to make. And
also, y'all, let me be honest about this. I don't know what's gonna happen to these dogs because Troy's probably gonna murder each and every one of them. He gonna kill them all.
I've been dealing with mostly infected. Look at the human interaction, because again, I'm just not getting to the point with the wolves. It's definitely. You can definitely tell there's been improvements in the enemy AI, like just little stuff that they kind of warned you about. They were like, oh my God, Janet, I can't believe Janet's dead. Dude, they got Janet spread out. So we'll see. I'm
not excited about seeing them react. That's something that I was dealing with as I went through as Abby, because I did do some of the murdering as Abby in her like tutorial as she makes her way to the lookout, because it's really spread out well. It's a really good tutorial that give you opportunity to remember how to crouch and how to like sneak up, and you got plenty of space to do all that stuff. Yeah. But the thing that is probably really going to happen for me is that I'm probably going to end up shooting up everything, because when there were the infected don't respond when you kill their homie. Like, they ain't got no homies. They crazy. But right. I'm not ready for everybody to start going ape shit once they see a body. Like, I'm just unprepared.
Here's the thing. It's that's very, very interesting about part 2 is that they have taken the familiar concept that you see in games like Uncharted and of course the first Last of Us game, and they made it bigger. You know, The Last of Us, you go in, you drop into an area, you kill everybody as quickly as you can, you loot the area and move on. The area that you loot is huge. Like once you get to Seattle, it is huge. Like the map is just kind of all over the place. Like, and then a lot of stuff and there's so much stuff is optional. Like you could literally just get your shit and just keep going. Or you could just go over here and say like, ooh, what's in here? Down there. Oh, okay, cool. Oh.
And then off on a tangent you go. Right. I mean, what's the point in building all these? It would be a tease for them to give us this beautiful world, start us off in the wilderness with all these dope ass views, right? Like it's fucking views on views in the whole beginning of the game, and then it not be like explorable. For Skyrim, I feel like Skyrim from the Elder Scrolls series fucked that up for everybody, because if you gonna give me views, that shit better be traversed. I better be able to traverse, otherwise it's gonna be some Dragon Age bullshit. It's
very much Chekhov's gun. Like don't show the gun if I can't use the gun. You know what I'm saying? Man, we could literally talk about this.
It's so exciting. But
again, just 8 hours in a 20-hour game. I imagine we will be talking about this for a few more weeks.
Sorry, guys. Get excited.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. Last of Us Part 2. Get into it. Seaberry, for your sake, there are already walkthrough videos around. So if you wanted to hop on YouTube, they're out already.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I refuse to look at any of them because I slipped up.
It's a 20-hour game. Shit is happening left and right. It's fast.
Right.
It's fast. Like, this plot is not fucking around.
Not at all. There is very little time to like rest and catch your breath in this game. I noticed that immediately. I was like, okay, I can. Oh shit! There's another one.
Seriously, seriously.
So yeah, that's the game. So yeah, Seaberry, it's very. I know you're not into scary stuff, but yeah, this one will keep you kind of on edge. It absolutely. And again, this is just 8 hours in.
The emotional. I feel like the emotional turmoil kind of distracts you from how nervous you are. Like your heart is so raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I've made exceptions before.
In the
Walking Dead TV series, different horror stuff. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm willing to endure it to see it because, man, watching the playthrough videos of the original game, I was just like, this is amazing. And then I saw clearly, like, I could like tell which actors were playing certain characters. I was like, oh, yeah. I know that guy. He was in a web series. Okay, cool. So I mean,
shout out to the protagonist, Ashley Johnson. She really, really did her thing. Ashley Johnson, she was Ellie in the first game, but more notably, she was Tara on the Teen Titans cartoons for all of them. Anytime there's been Tara, that's been Ashley Johnson. You know, shout out to her. She's one of the child actors that made it. She made it to adulthood with her sanity intact. So
here's a few.
Big shout out to Ashley Johnson.
Right. Okay. I'm really glad you honored the fact that she was a child actor because, baby, don't forget Growing Pains.
Can't forget Growing Pains.
Wasn't she a Seaver? Wasn't she like the little girl?
She was Chris, their youngest child.
Chrissy Seaver. Yep. Speaking of child actors that made it intact, was everybody geeked to see Kyla Pratt on Insecure?
Yes. But yo, can we talk about the finale? Because Lord, they hurt me. I'm going to quote verbatim my text to Richard after I saw the finale. I said, nigga, fuck everybody involved in Insecure. These motherfuckers playing with my emotions.
Well,
woo, that finale was rough, baby.
It was hurtful. It was real though.
Because you know, I've been a Lawrence and Issa shipper probably at least since they showed me that little dream sequence in season 2. I was like, why are you showing this to me? Yeah. I want that. I believe we can get to that.
Nah, thumbs down.
I want that. I believe in us.
Here's the thing. Lawrence, we talked about it. Lawrence needed to do way too much in order for them to be together back then. And by the time he got his shit together, they were two totally different people. Like you could it was all honeymoon phase when they finally got back together. It was all honeymoon. There was no substance. And I was like, this ain't gonna last.
I think Richard has a hard time processing the nuances of emotional human interaction and perhaps has misunderstood this.
Really? I kind of think I was the first person from Jump who was like, Molly on that bullshit.
I mean, I don't think Molly's on bullshit. Y'all remember I disagree with you all about this. Like,
please explain that to me. How Molly is not on some bullshit? Because
So here's what's real. The fact is that she's not on bullshit on her own, right? She's in a friendship. A friendship is a relationship. And I don't think nobody's behavior is no better than anybody else's in this circumstance. Okay. I feel like Molly and Issa both fucked up. And Molly, the reason I understand Molly better is because Molly's actions are more empathizable to me. Issa worries me because she's so cowardly. How the fuck are you not fucking with your best friend no more? And your best friend hears from you, bitch, I've been stopped fucking with you. I'm your best friend, ho. You could at least tell me you don't fuck with me no more. Like, I just don't understand. Now, Molly is on some whole other bullshit, and that's fine. But I don't find her to be the only problem here. In terms of like Lawrence and Issa, we ain't got but 30 seconds left, nigga.
Yeah, no, again, that relationship was problematic from jump. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We're going to discuss a little bit more of the this season of Insecure. You're listening to Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
This is Black Nerd Power.
R&R on Sports.
1968 Olympian Dr. John Carlos.
Oh man, it's an honor. They need to pick up their radio and tune you guys in.
There you go.
It's R&R on Sports. Keeping it real, right, and funky.
Mauricio Calvo, who happens to be the executive director of Latino Memphis. Welcome to Funky Politics, sir. How are you?
Great. Thank you. You're having as much trouble saying my name as I do saying KUDZUKIAN, so we're even.
Hey, look, I'm good on that.
Reasonable people understand that a country is more than its leader. I mean, I love my home country, but I think people in Memphis need to count their blessings.
Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Black Nerd Power.
And we're back, Black Nerd Power. So before the break, we were talking about this particular season of HBO's Insecure. You were expounding on Molly's behavior, Kimber.
Yeah, just saying that I empathize with her. But honestly, that was just, truthfully, the main thing that we need to talk about right now is the fact that you said that they are so different now that they're back together. You talking about Lawrence and Issa. I think that they're beautiful back together. I think that it's so sweet and so wonderful. I think they gotta reckon. But I think they just gotta reckon with, like, the thing is, when you in a relationship and you choose to stick with a person or not stick with a person, you got baggage from when you stick with that person and y'all continue your relationship, and you gonna have baggage if you dip on them and then come back and y'all continue your relationship. The only way to avoid it would have been not to get back together at all. But I think that, like, the fact that they make each other so happy is proof positive that it was a good idea for them to try it again.
You got to look at the nuances. She was having reservations. Like, there were little moments where she would kind of be off to herself and kind of look at him, and you could see that what looked to me like reservations in her face. Like, I don't think she was as all in as she reported to be.
What? You really don't think so?
I really don't think so.
Okay, so here's go ahead, Marcus.
I think she was just concerned because, shit ended ugly the first time. Mm-hmm. I think that was concern, trepidation, if you will. I feel like she wanted it, and I think both of them, like Kimber said, it seemed like they really were making each other happy. Now, of course, again, it probably was honeymoon phase, and
Absolutely.
I figured that San Francisco might have been a speed bump because Lawrence got the job there, but that damn concerto.
Stop that and leave Condola alone. I like Condola. I like Condola as well.
I like
the character. I like the work that the actress did as said character.
I mean, she's solid. I want to like her.
Yeah.
But she throwing riches into my dream.
No, okay. Nigga. He threw them worms into that room.
Right. like Lawrence is blameless in this because he doesn't get to be that anymore. Like, Lawrence doesn't get to be blameless anymore. Like, that's the Lawrence that we went through with, like, seasons 1 and 2, where, like, Lawrence stuff just happened to him. You know what I mean?
No,
no, because that's what happened. Stuff just kind of happened to Lawrence. That was part of the problem, that Lawrence never owned up or took responsibility for any of his shit.
But I'm saying that old girl called him out in season 2, though.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a fuck nigga to think he a good dude.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Lawrence didn't.
I was hoping that he had curbed most of his fuckboy tendencies. He seemed to be a rehabilitated fuckboy.
I mean, he is. What I'm saying is just in this particular instance, Lawrence doesn't get to be blameless for sure, because blameless Lawrence is gone. Lawrence who just fell into Aparna right after his relationship, and then fell into the shit with the two white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That Lawrence doesn't get to exist anymore.
Dude never existed in the first place, y'all. Like, he was never there. The blameless Lawrence never existed. And I think that that's like a female perspective, like a woman perspective. I changed from female to woman with the X to be more inclusive. I really feel like that's a femme perspective on Lawrence. Like, the blameless Lawrence was never there. He been a fuck nigga from the very beginning. Now, what we learned recently is that he was a depressed fuck nigga, which is a real thing that happens to people, right? Now, I wonder, which is a real thing that happens to people, and I'm delighted by how, like, Issa and her team and are like really just digging deep into this idea of what it's like to be a Black man in our generation, right?
For sure. That moment was about him not working. That shit was real. I've been that dude. I've been the dude that don't want to be shit and ain't about shit because I ain't out making shit. Like, it's hard to try to be something when you pulling out moths. You pull out your pockets and moths fly out like on cartoons. It messes with a man's mind when he can't provide.
It messes with a person's mind when they can't provide. But I understand how somebody inculcated with all the messaging that Black men receive, especially Southern Black men receive about working and providing and what they got to do. Yeah. How that feels different. And like, similarly, I've been a woman, you know what I'm saying, going to work and leaving a dude that's like looking for a job behind her, right? Like, despite the fact that it didn't necessarily last for a long time, it just takes a toll on every person involved. So I'm grateful that they really took some time and explored that. What I wonder about is whether or not Issa understands that, like, the very thing that she's forgiving Lawrence and going back to him for after she's already forgiven Lawrence and is willing to return to him for the same thing that she's not willing to forgive Nathan for.
Yeah. That's going to change. With Lawrence in San Francisco, she'll be closer to Nathan. She'll be working in the back of the shop. Stuff with her and Nathan is going to get back on track.
I'm really concerned about him, though. He bipolar. You don't need to just jump in a relationship with him right now, girl. He bipolar for real. Like, he needs to work through that.
He's new bipolar. Like, he's still working on getting the meds balance and everything. Yeah, no, but at the same time, that could lead to all kinds of trouble because he could stop getting on his medicine. He could start self-medicating. There could be problems with the police. There's all kind of places they could go with Nathan. Nathan is in that regard because of his storyline potential. Nathan is a much more interesting character. But
speaking of the police, wait one second. Did you see the last part in the season finale with the policeman when the policeman and Kelly was getting bucked with the policeman and the policeman was like, fuck this, not me. I ain't going on the news.
Yeah, for real. Like, nope.
No, rightfully so, because that gay dude on the bus was wrong as hell. He's like,
sound like my inner Black woman.
He said, my inner Black woman looks just like you. I'd have knocked the shit out of him. Yes, ma'am.
I had my hand up to make a public service announcement. Nobody has an inner Black woman but Black women, okay? Nobody in the whole world. Ain't nobody got an inner Black woman but Black women. And that's on period. All right?
No, right. The closest I got is my mama's voice in the back of my head.
That's what you got.
That's the closest I got.
And that's still just her inner Black woman that you done.
Yeah, it's my mother's inner Black woman. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, but anyway, the big thing. So the big thing that we haven't said out loud that we've been dancing around is Lawrence. At the end of the finale, Lawrence and Issa are finally kind of doing their thing. Lawrence has gotten a job in San Francisco, but it's okay because flights are cheap, and a flight from San Francisco to LA is like a 45-minute flight. Whatever. It sounds like Lawrence is going to be making more than enough paper where he's going to be like, it's just $300. Money ain't a thing. So, frequent flights back and forth, they're going to make it work. Lawrence comes over and says,
Condola having a baby and it's mine.
What?
And Marcus, and that sound that you all hear is Marcus's heart breaking into a million people.
Yes. No, look. At that same instant, because me and my lovely wife Nicola were watching, and when he said Condola came back. I was like, shit. My wife was like, fuck you. like we already knew it was gonna be some shit. I was like,
oh boy. So yeah, we'll see how all of this plays out.
But then, like the very last scene, they gave us a Issa and Molly reconciliation. So it's like, okay, we done broke your heart, but not take this and wait for season 5.
I would also like to say I predicted Molly would be by herself.
You did, but I mean, I saw.
I'm glad her and Andrew broke up.
Annoyed.
I'm glad she and Andrew broke up.
Why is that?
Because when they at the low key tripping episode, the episode where they went out of town, I knew that shit was over. And it wasn't even his brother. It was when they wasn't lined up about them sex toys. It's too soon for all that, dog. I ain't lying. Y'all ain't even been together.
That was your marker?
When they were misaligned about those sex toys and then the communication behind it. Because and the reason being is like, y'all ain't got no reason to have these fucking hangups. Both of y'all fine. Both of y'all got money. Y'all motherfuckers out of town. And both of y'all fine. Both of y'all got money and y'all out of town. And you're young and unattached. It ain't no secrets to be kept.
Right.
How are y'all fucking this up? How are you fucking this up right now? It's because the energy ain't right.
You're listening to Black Nerd Power. I think, a lot of that was just Molly's unwillingness to compromise, though.
She knew the relationships. She fucked that up. Hopefully what I think is going to happen in terms of how romances go, what I feel like is going to happen is that Molly fucked over all these niggas and went on her Mary Molly way. Ran into Andrew, found a good reason to try to be good and learn a little bit about how to be in a relationship. And then she probably is going to reflect on that. And then some dude from her past going to come up and she going to figure out how to do a real relationship. That's kind of how this goes.
Dro going to show up.
Not
with
Dro.
Not Dro. That's the married nigga, right?
That's what I said. Yeah, he's going to show up with a divorce.
Nah, not that nigga. I'd rather Jadena came back for that nigga.
I fuck with the idea of Jadena coming back. I fuck with the idea. So who is that? Y'all, I know I can't remember. Who is the actress that played Dro's wife?
Gabrielle Denise.
Thank you. Here's why she's important. Because do y'all not remember that she was Janae, who was the Condola in the same situation when this happened to Melanie and Darwin on the game?
Yeah, on the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it happened. If you don't remember, Janae and Darwin Davis had went together and then they broke up and him and Melanie got back together, but Janae was pregnant.
Yeah.
It was whack.
Yeah.
She's also on the Black Lady Sketch Show. So we may not be seeing her for a while.
She's famous now.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, no, they might bring back Laurel Howery. Who knows?
Well, he's on
like Laurel
season 3, so I don't know.
For HBO money, you leave Showtime. But yeah, no, Laurel. I like Molly and Laurel together. I really, really did. Here's the thing. I like them together because aesthetically, nobody liked them together. But I liked him because he got her out of her comfort zone.
I'm rooting for either Torian or the little boy that won't his whole name said now. The little boy that she mentored, what's his name?
Okay. Oh no, I was thinking they were gonna bring back Langston Kerman's character, the dude that was like, "Nah, it was just one time with this one dude in college." Like him, I wanted them to bring back. I forgot his character name, but I know the actor that plays him is his cat name.
They weren't having no problem. Yeah. He was Enterprise. Didn't he work at Enterprise?
I think so. Yeah,
he worked at the Terminal Place.
Oh my God! Let's get into the rest of the format of the show. We've got a couple of RIPs. Mr. Seabury, go right ahead with those RIPs.
RIP the comics creator Denny O'Neil. Did a lot of work for Marvel and DC Comics. Was an editor on the Batman family of books for a long time. And
also, Wonder Woman. Denny O'Neil's run on Wonder Woman is famous. He's the one who took away Wonder Woman's powers and made her sort of like a spy back in the 70s.
Oh, okay. He did. Okay. And And also R.I.P. to Sir Ian Holm. He was an actor well known for playing Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings films.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that guy. Yeah. The one that everybody always thinks is Derek Jacobi, but he's the other one.
The other one.
Yeah. It happens. It happens more than you know. Like, it's like, oh, it's Derek Jacobi. Oh, no, wait. No, it's that guy.
Well,
the other guy. Let's see. Let's get into a little bit of tech talk. This one I found really interesting. I just saw I saw the story on TechCrunch. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know or not, but Ford has gotten to the point where they're re-releasing the Ford Bronco. Right?
Shut the fuck up.
They're redoing the Bronco. They're making a brand new one. It's actually really nice looking. But the thing is, Ford had to change the release date because the original release date was O.J. Simpson's birthday.
Damn.
Oh my God. Oh,
that's rude.
Baby, when I saw that, when I tell you,
why did they do that? They ain't shit. Why did they do that?
Yeah, some shit you don't do.
Why did they do that? That's rude.
Yeah, Ford Bronco debut date moved so it would not fall on O.J. Simpson's birthday. Hilarious.
Did they know that when they did? Do you know they knew that shit?
It doesn't. The fact that they changed it is all good. Let's see. Ford changed. It's planned. July 9th reveal falls on the birthday of O.J. Simpson. So they're moving the release to July 13th. If you
I always forget how close O.J. Simpson's birthday is to mine.
Yeah.
Speaking of important days, this is my Black Nerd Power anniversary.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Happy anniversary. So that's what, 4 years now?
Yep.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy anniversary to you.
Thanks.
I did not know that. We'd have made a cake or something.
Please don't. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, or something. By something, I mean probably like edibles or something. I don't know.
Edible cake. Love it.
Yeah. So the next, it's totally plausible. So yeah, and then the other thing, this is another funny story. Okay, so Apple was doing their thing and was, following along in the lines of everybody else. And they're just like, all right, we need to close a bunch of stores. And they're like, all right, let's open a bunch of stores. And then they're like, just kidding. We're closing a bunch of stores again. So let's see. So they're closing locations in Arizona, 2 in Florida, 2 in North Carolina, and 1 in South Carolina amidst all of the stuff that is going on. Because again, people think they know better than science. They've got the corona, they're just like, no, stuff is fine. And they're like, no, it's
actually worse than ever.
It's totally worse. And it's going to get worse starting today. Because of the Hate Pumpkins, he's throwing his Hitler Youth rally today. So yeah, that'll be interesting. He's throwing his rally down in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now, the likes of which they had to change because it was gonna be yesterday, and people had to tell him.
He's gonna have it on Juneteenth. Okay,
yeah, he's gonna have it on Juneteenth, a holiday that Black people pretend to care about. Ooh, who said that? I did.
Richard, you hate everything, and no one cares what you think.
I don't hate everything.
Yes, you do. I'm 90%. Right.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yes, 90. You do. I'm right.
I'll take 90.
You hate everything. So that's why we love you.
Yeah, stand by. I'm gonna share the picture. There we go. That is the new Ford Bronco.
Hey, that shit's nice.
It's nice, right?
Hey, that's nice.
It's a little too boxy for my taste.
I mean, it's a Ford Bronco. What do you expect? Yeah,
that ain't really my
jam. I respect it, Marcus.
You drive a very box-like car.
Get out of his business.
No, the Kia Soul has kind of curves to kind of break up the boxy elements.
Okay, Marcus. Now listen, I have your back and I can support you, but let's not go off the deep end. Let's not get silly. It's a box, okay? That's a box. Like,
but the edges aren't sharp. The edges
yes, they are.
Nah,
they are, bro.
not like that. Not like that Bronco.
Kirk, you're gonna have to find a picture of a Kia Soul.
Not like that Bronco. And it has to be a 2019.
Okay, I'll do it.
Guys.
All right, hang on. Look, this is a horrible way to do a radio show looking at pictures, but I don't care.
Honestly, I feel like I got a point to prove. Marcus is putting misinformation out there. He got people thinking when they get a Kia Soul.
You said a 2019 Kia Soul, right?
That when they get a 2019 Kia Soul, they're gonna get a box that's broken up by curves, and that's not true.
Right? Yeah.
That ain't. They're just getting the box.
Bruh, just hang on. Just bruh.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, Marcus, I see the sloping.
Thank you.
There's a little sloping. The windshield does not seem as flat. Yeah, the windshield on the new Bronco is very much a
mug rigid as heck, man. I'm like,
I'll give you that. Okay, fine, it slopes. But curves is overstated.
Okay. Slopes. Let's slope. All right.
All right. So
learning and growing, right?
Learning and growing together.
Learning and growing. So yeah, that's Tech Talk. Mr. Seabury, what you got for us in the comic book corner?
Okay. I want to talk about this Stargirl trade, because the CW's now turned this into a series. I'd been wanting to read these books for a while. They were like, it was a 2-part series, but I was like, I know DC's smart. They got the series coming out. They're gonna put out a new version, and they did, and they slapped the actress on the cover. Basically, Stargirl, Courtney Whitmore, her mom falls in love with a guy. He moves into Blue Valley. It's kind of like in Nebraska or near Nebraska, and but he has a secret. He's been dressing well. He used to be a hero called Stripesy, who was a sidekick to the Star Spangled Kid. Courtney finds the Star Spangled Kid costume, modifies it, makes it a little more up to date, and she finds this belt that gives her strength. And she wants to start fighting baddies. And he's like, hey, I don't want you to do that. And she's like, you can't stop me. You're not my real daddy. And he like, okay. So he makes this robo costume called Stripe, and he wears that, and he becomes a sidekick again. I guess always a bridesmaid, never a bride or something.
Right,
always
that's dumb. I've got mech armor. Like, I don't need, side these nuts. We partners.
Well, I mean, it's a cute, fun little teen story. It's a lot of coming of age stuff mixed in with superhero fights and battles, and their appearances from Young Justice, Superman, Batman, most of the usual DC comic suspects. It's a cool little story. It's a fun story. Look, I appreciate dark and twisty stuff. I appreciate deconstructing the superhero stuff. Sometimes I like fun shit with fighting, and that's what this is.
All righty. What else you got?
On the other end, if you want dark and twisty, have I got a book for you? Dark Knight's Death Metal. Okay. This cosmic being called Perpetua was battling the DC heroes. They have a big battle. All kinds of energies are released, and the world is remade, and it's dark as heck. And like most of your heroes are wound up working for Perpetua, and the Jokerized version of Batman called the Batman Who Laughs is kind of her middle management, and the world is just screwed up. And also he has all these different Batmen, which is crazy. There's like a Bat Cthulhu, a Bat Clayface, all these legion of people, and eventually the real Batman shows, and he's fighting, and him and Wonder Woman, who's kind of trying to resist or disagreeing, because Batman like, hey, let's just hold on to what we got and try to make it better. She's like, no, we got to go back and fix it and make the world the way it was. And there's a little dispute between Wonder Woman and the Batman Who Laughs. And she gets him with, well, there was a scene where she had to melt down her invisible jet. She turned into an invisible chainsaw and she got his ass. That was kind of beautiful. And and then at the end, the rest of the dark bad people are like, well, we have to go to our secret weapon. And they point to a guy in a suspension chamber. And it's like, we have to unleash the final Bruce Wayne. And that's where part one ends. Like I said, it's just such a dark.
Like Doomsday Bruce Wayne?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you just see a figure in a little chamber. So I guess we'll see that in issue 2. Pretty good. I was a little sad that they didn't show this very metal-looking Superman that's on the cover with long hair. Looking like if Wayne from Wayne's World got in shape and got dropped in a post-apocalyptic future. Good stuff. Fun alternate versions of DC characters. Good time.
All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back with a little bit more of Black Nerd Power.
This is Black Nerd Power.
Jazz, America's own original musical art form. When did it start? Who were and are some of the major players? How do you distinguish what kind of jazz you're listening to? We talk about the great and lesser known artists, songs and tunes, the instruments, and the social impact jazz has had on world culture since its beginning at the start of the 20th century.
Riffin' on jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN!
And we're back, Black Nerd Power. Kimber, what you been up to, man? Because, you be reading and shit.
Man, it feels, honestly, like as I was waiting for The Last of Us to come out, that's all I could actually engage with. So I'm really excited because it's been kind of a trial to read, y'all. Like, the pandemic feels worse than ever, but I feel like I've rested and gotten my focus back. So I actually was able to dive outside of my fluffy little cotton candy world and read a fucking thriller written by a Black woman. So I am reading actually American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson. It's about a Black woman FBI agent who goes undercover for suck-ass America during the Cold War. This is the period that we're looking at, is the 80s. The book actually starts in 90, like it starts situated in 1992, but like she start the book like murdering, like on gang shit, period, like murder, kill. And then she's like, oh, I need to tell my kids my story so that they know why their mother is the way she is. And so we got Marie Mitchell. She feels ignored by the FBI that, of course, she worked really hard to get into. She was a cop from Harlem, worked hard to get into the FBI, and like feels kind of stuck in paper shuffling until they pull her to get sent undercover to seduce and ultimately bring down Thomas Sankara, who is the real life revolutionary and president of Burkina Faso in the mid 80s. So we got a Black American woman working for the feds in Africa, pretending to fall in love with the African Che Guevara while actually facilitating a coup against him. It's crazy. It's really interesting. It
sounds like a dope movie.
It's fucking banging, okay? It's banging. It's really stressful. It's romantic in that way that like spy movies are. And it's crazy. It's like a really interesting, again, it's a continuation of like, I feel like I started off thinking about protests as I was like watching Bad Boys Forever, which is one representation of what like policing kind of turns into for Black people in America. It was, and like Bad Boys for Life was like a reckoning. Like a lot of people died. They didn't glamorize.
Not only that, but like just Black actors in general. Like as a Black male actor in particular, like in a lot of cases, you ain't made it unless you played a cop.
You know what I'm saying? And so they like kind of, I feel like they tussled with that in Bad Boys for Life and kind of like showed them like the sacrifice that was made in a really high stakes policing environment. And this book takes us on like a federal level to like a Black woman engaged in espionage who like loves her job and like is tussling with American being American and like duty and honor, but also like reckoning with her Blackness and like loving a Black man in fucking Africa while he like does a lot of wild shit, but ultimately like they call Thomas Sankara the African Che Guevara because like dude's legacy is important in the world. He doesn't go down as like somebody whose legacy is like something to be hidden and swept under the rug. He's a hero. And so to watch her fall in love with him and to reckon with that after the fact was really, really interesting. I'm still reading through it, and like once I get to the end, I'm sure it's gonna break my heart in a million pieces, but I'm really, really enjoying it. And so I hope you pick it up. It's again called American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson.
So
Yeah,
it's,
the book sound dope.
it sounds great. Yeah, seriously. I would also like to back up for just a second and add 2 more names to our RIP list. I would also like to say RIP to the shows Cops and Live PD. So fuck 'em.
That's true. It's over and fuck it. Bye.
Yo, man. Hey, I'm gonna say this though. Bad Boys by Inner Circle was my shit. The Cops theme song.
I mean, hey, like
that shit went hard.
I feel like Bad Boys for Life. Sorry to like say it again, but it really gave me an opportunity to reckon with the fact that we have glamorized like cop life and all that shit, like as Americans, even, and of course, like we know that, right? But I feel kind of disconnected from it because I didn't call myself enjoying that kind of TV or watching it. I've never seen an episode of Cops, but I know the song. And so the fact that it's so deeply ingrained in us is what these like last couple of weeks of content has made me, right?
Cops has been on for 30 fucking years.
And who am I to think that I've somehow escaped that shit because I never watched an episode? Right. Bitch, please check yourself. And that's what this book did, like for real. It like calls you in to like really think about that identity shit, but get out of our own individual experiences about it. And so yeah, that's why you should read, guys. It builds empathy.
And then you said you've been playing any other games or just saving all your love for Last of Us?
So The Last of Us has been getting the most of my attention, honestly, and in the last couple of days. But as I was running up to it, I did go to Target and pick up this cute little card game called Love Letters. It's like wholly romantic themed. So all you get is you get a little velvet bag, like kind of like a little Crown Royal bag, but it's burgundy, not purple. And in it is a small deck of a small deck of cards, and that have all these suitors on them, and then you have these tiles, and they work together for you to like craft a love letter that's going to lure the princess to you. But I haven't played it yet. But the reason that I brought it up is because y'all, it just blew my mind that there was a whole game in Target, and the whole point was like to win the princess. Yay!
We look forward to the updates.
It made me excited.
Get into it, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a break really quickly, and we're gonna come back with our last segment of the day. Because I want to, when we get into some awards and say nigga a bunch, so I want to give that particular segment its full time.
We didn't already say nigga a bunch. My bad.
I mean, we have.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah, we have, but like this is actually no. I think we've been kind of nigga light this week.
Is there a nigga permitted ratio off?
No, that's
Heavens
the beauty
no.
of podcast.
Heavens no.
No, we can. I don't think we have nigga quotas. I think the sky's the limit. Whoever's editing this is gonna have fun putting all the beeps in. But yeah, we can nigga it up.
Edit nigga out.
I mean, in some cases they do, because like sometimes people aren't listening to this on the podcast. Apparently, like sometimes we actually go out on the for real radio. So they feel like they need to beep it out sometimes. So I can't
believe y'all niggas got us on the radio and got my niggas bleeped out and didn't even tell me.
Nigga, what's wrong with y'all niggas?
That Larry nigga, man.
Oh, Penny, man. Damn.
You know what I say to that? Oh, nigga.
Nigga, please.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. More Black Nerd Power.
This is Black Nerd Power. Black Nerd Power.
I love games, board games, comics, beautiful things that portray black girls as soft and whimsical and cotton candy flowers. And so that is what I bring to the show, as well as cuss words for these raggedy when they need them.
Oh my
Such
goodness.
as this raggedy that we getting ready to introduce you to right now.
Oh my
This red
goodness.
fox looking,
Oh.
this bald head, confident talking about Richard Douglas Jones.
My goodness, this is the worst intro I've ever had in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network. And we're back, Black Nerd Power KUDZUKIAN Network. This is the segment of the show where we normally give out awards. And with the world being as topsy-turvy as it has been, we haven't really been giving out awards as faithfully as we have in the past. This particular person that I want to give an award to has been flying under the radar for a long time, and that's why I really didn't mention her. But with all of the stuff that's been going on, she is quickly being elevated to a national spotlight and being trotted out each and every time conservative media wants wants to put a black face on the bullshit coming out of their mouth. And of course, the nigga I'm talking about is one Candace Owens. Have you know who she is, Seaberry?
Oh, of course. I mean, I can't bring myself to listen to full video from this woman because I just be like, my nigga, now, nigga.
Like nigga, like Candace Owens videos are like a rodeo. Like, can you last for 8 seconds? Usually that's about as long as I can last listening to that woman. Listen to the vile, just garbage just coming out of that woman's mouth. And you just look at her and you're just like, who hurt you, baby? Baby, who hurt you? Somebody hurt you bad. Somebody black hurt you bad. If I had to guess, it's probably her parents, because word is that she grew up in Oakland, was raised by her grandparents at the Jehovah's Witness. So, like, come on. Who hurt you, baby? It ain't my fault your grandparents made you go to church on Saturday. That ain't my fault. But, like, yeah, just, I don't even want to.
Seventh-day Adventist.
Jehovah's Witness, Seventh Day, whatever. She's one of those. But yeah, still, like, just every time she opens her mouth and she just, I'm living large, and black people talk about how it's not that bad. Black people aren't literally lynched every day. Like, black people aren't lynched anymore. George Floyd was a criminal to begin with. Ahmaud Arbery was trespassing, so people were just defending themselves when they like, this is the kind of shit she says. I'm paraphrasing, but this is the kind of shit that she says. Candace Owens, like, I get it. You're suffering from what the great Paul Mooney calls the illusion of inclusion. Because one day you gonna get pulled. Hopefully you survive this encounter, but you're gonna get pulled over and the cop ain't gonna know who you are, and then you're gonna get treated like Joe Schmo nigga number 5. And I hope you make it home.
It is a life-changing feeling. It's like a point of demarcation.
Yeah, or like it's a nigga wake up call, and you just hope you survive it. Okay, you've been real quiet. You not familiar with the works of one Miss Candace Owens, or you just like, nah. I'm proud of myself. I ain't call her a bitch,
but you kind of just did.
I know.
I know who people. So I have heard people talk about her. Uh-huh. I have not seen what she looks like. I have not heard words that she has said. That I have not heard words that I know are attributed to her. Like, other than the stuff that you told me she said, I just refuse to engage with people who refuse to see reason or be realistic. Like, a black person who denies the plight of black people in America is just not a prayer. Like, any person who just refuses to see the humanity of black people, and any person who would choose to use their platform to directly like further narratives that make us easier to kill in the street. I just can't do anything with that person because I feel violent toward them, but I don't want to actually murder her. And so, like, I just choose not to engage. I can't deal with it because otherwise I'd be on the radio calling a lady I don't know a bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
That happens.
It does. Rage happens. I done called some people I don't know a bitch on this show. Somebody got the receipts. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do nothing with her. I just gotta leave her alone and not be bothered. And hopefully she'll just leave me alone and not be bothered until she gets some kind of wake up call. I just also can't understand how she's lived her life the entire time in America and been shielded from anything that would cause her to empathize more deeply.
That's just it. She hasn't.
That's what I'm saying. So she doing it on purpose. So some motherfuckers, you just got to leave them alone.
Okay, I was trying to bring it up, but it's not letting me share my screen. I don't know.
But you gonna make me look at her anyway? Ooh,
yeah, you said you never seen her, so I wanted you to
I ain't gonna look. I ain't stunned Richard. I would have to see Candace Owens. I don't know her.
So yeah, then let me just say this very briefly. Yes, Candace Owens for the vile venom that comes out of your mouth, and not only what comes out of your mouth, but the damage that it does. Because like you said, like this is. It's like, well, it can't be all bad. Here's one of them who says that being black is hunky dory. So, like, maybe they're making some of this shit up. Like the fact that you're casting doubt on the plight of not only of all people that look like you, your mama, your daddy, your greasy. There's Candace Owens. There we go.
I've seen her before.
Okay, I guess Kirk did that. Thank you, Kirk. But yeah, your mama, your daddy, your greasy grandmammy, all of them. That's the plight of all of them, and to belittle that in such a way that you're proud of it, because she's proud of it. She's like, this is me, this is my house. I'm living up with my white husband, and this and blah 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 blah. And then you see pictures of her without makeup, and you see that shit on her lip got some shit on his lip.
Shut up, Richard.
Okay.
What is that lady got? You are such a waste of space. Okay. We do not have to talk about what that lady looked like just because you don't like her. Run up, nigga, and fight her. The hell?
I'm not gonna fight a woman.
What is? Stop sitting up talking about what a bitch look like.
Especially not a woman under the illusion of inclusion. Like she
does not owe you beauty. No woman owes any of you motherfuckers.
I'm talking about
she can be ugly.
I'm just talking about the fact that she has herpes. I'm not saying anything about her aesthetically.
Oh, wow.
It don't matter if she got herpes, nigga. Is she licking your face with it? That nigga she fucking with don't matter about her having herpes. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You being just as dumb as she is.
I hope she doesn't have herpes.
I don't know. What I'm saying is don't nobody give a fuck about whether or not that lady got herpes unless somebody finna fuck her. I ain't fucking her with mine. So I ain't worried about it.
Anyway, so to you, Miss Candace Owens, we acknowledge you the best way we know how here on this show, and that is to look at you and to say, nigga, please. Apparently Dave Chappelle, and I'm not going to repeat that.
I'll get ready to say, make sure that's worth your time, nigga.
Yeah, I'm good.
Make sure that's worth your time.
Kirk, you trying to get me in trouble, Kirk?
I'm not. You.
Kirk.
No.
Kirk. I don't think you understand how many niggas motherfuckers I was about to be.
I'm getting ready to give each and every one of you niggas a Westie.
Yeah, I know. Kirk.
Y'all don't know Kirk, but I'm telling y'all, Kirk be
I know. Yeah. Nah, Kirk be is the devil on the shoulder. Be like, nah, say that shit. Say that.
Kirk is the devil on Richard's shoulder. He facilitates this bullshit. Y'all. Kirk is the devil on Richard's shoulder, and Marcus is the angel on his shoulder. And I'm a parishioner at this fucked up church, and I don't know why I keep coming.
You know what? I started out being the angel, but then over time I kind of get corrupted. I'd be like, "You're right, Richard. Fuck him."
You're not as bad as Kirk, though. No, Kirk. No. People. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Kirk, y'all don't know it about him, but I'm telling y'all, Kirk. He really does facilitate Richard's bullshit. Like
devil on the shoulder. Real talk. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, shall we? You guys got any plugs, any appearances? You doing?
I ain't got nothing popping.
All right.
I will be putting in appearances at Afro Kimber on Instagram, where I show you my quarantine life, wherein I try not to get the coronavirus. Y'all, please don't get the coronavirus. It's not really. Don't get it. Don't pass it. Don't pass it. Okay, don't pass it.
If I can manage to not get it while out protesting, don't get it.
You can keep your damn mask on. Put your mask on and try to help other people access masks if you can.
And wash your damn hands.
Wash your goddamn hands.
Trust science. How about that? Let's just all encompassing. Trust science. Let's do that. Let's see.
There's a lot to ask, especially in the South now. Shit.
Yeah, I know. You can still catch me each and every week, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Central on my Facebook page where I do open mic or something like it. But in addition to that, you can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on twitch.tv/Black Nerd Power as I play through The Last of Us Part 2. If you could check the old videos, like I literally play The Last of Us, take a day off, and then start into The Last of Us Part 2. So if you want to go through and watch like the last couple of minutes, the last couple of hours of playthrough, and then start the second game, it literally picks up right where the first game ends. So check that out. In addition to that, you can check us out online. You can find us on Facebook. We're the ones with the blue check. You can find us on Twitter at BNP if you're nasty. You can also find us on Instagram at black.nerd.power. It's us. We check it. We add to it fairly regularly. You can find us on the internet. Say what's up. Tell us you like the show. Tell us you hate the show. That's another thing you guys should definitely do. Subscribe, rate it, all that stuff. I don't know. Kimber, have you seen the ratings? They're like people that are like, don't do the show without Kimber no more.
Them niggas need to.
Yeah, they straight up. They're like, yeah, nah, the show ain't good without Kimber. They're like, don't like for real. If you look on iTunes, yeah, nah, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, yeah, nah, don't do the show without Kimber.
Well, I mean, the people have spoken, but
Hey.
I gotta respect the reviews, but also like, no, don't play. They'll come for me too. Like, yeah, they are fickle. They are fickle mistress.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening with us this week. We have fun. We hope you guys have fun listening. We'll be back next week. Same Black Nerd time, same Black Nerd channel. On behalf of myself, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and my co-host, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
All right, then.
And Miss Kimber.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Please continue to stay safe. Take care of yourselves. We out.
Black Nerd Power, produced by Richard Douglas Jones and some outspoken introvert. Hosted by Richard Douglas Jones, Marcus Seabury, and Miss Kimber. Music curation, some random dude and his friends and their cousin. What?
Say what again?
Recorded, produced, and distributed by KUDZUKIAN.
KUDZUKIAN.